Hi guys, welcome back. Happy Monday. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any new uploads. So, Russell Brand has been officially charged with multiple rapes and sexual assaults going back over 25 years, according to British police. The charges include rape, indecent assault, oral rape, and 2 accounts of sexual assault. The alleged offenses are tied to 4 separate women and took place between 1999 and 2005. Russell is accused of raping 1 woman in 1999 and indecently assaulting another in 2001 in London's Westminster area. He is also responsible for the alleged oral rape and sexual assault of a woman in Westminster in 2004, as well as the sexual assault of another alleged victim between 2004 and 2005. Cops opened a sex crimes investigation into Russell back in September 2023, just weeks after the Sunday Times and Channel 4 TV's documentary show Dispatches reported that 4 women had accused Russell of sexual assault, including 1 rape that allegedly occurred at his Los Angeles home in 2012 at the height of his Hollywood fame. In another alleged incident detailed in the report, Russell was accused of assaulting a then 16-year-old girl by forcing her to perform oral sex during a 3-month-long relationship. The then teen claimed she had to punch Russell in the stomach to make him stop. The other accusers detailed in the initial media report included a woman who claimed he sexually assaulted her at his property in West Hollywood after they met at an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. Police on Friday said they had received a handful of complaints from women after the documentary aired. Russell, at the time, denied the claims, insisting his relationship were always consensual. These allegations pertain to the time when I was working in the mainstream, when I was in the newspapers all the time, when I was in the movies, and as I've written about intensively in my books, I was very, very promiscuous. Now, during the time of promiscuity, the relationships I had were absolutely always consensual. On Friday, though, hours after the charges were leveled against him, he insisted he had never raped anyone. I was a fool before. I lived in the light of the Lord. I was a drug addict, a sex addict, and an imbecile. But what I never was a rapist, he said in a video statement on Instagram. Check out this clip.
Hello. Firstly, thank you for these incredible and overwhelming messages of support. We're very fortunate in a way to live in a time where there's so little trust in the British government. We're very fortunate, I suppose, that this is happening at a time where we know that the law has become a kind of weapon to be used against people, institutions, and sometimes entire nations that will not accept and tolerate levels of corruption that are unprecedented. I'm speaking particularly to those of you that are watching this in the UK. How do you feel about your legal system right now? How do you feel about some of the high-profile cases that are not being pursued and prosecuted? How do you feel that the Southport murders were handled? How do you feel about the government of Keir Starmer? Now, that's just sort of general context. I've always told you guys that when I was young and single, before I had my wife and family, who were just out of shot over there, my beautiful children, I was a fool, man. I was a fool before I lived in the light of the Lord. I was a drug addict, a sex addict, and an imbecile. But what I never was a rapist. I've never engaged in non-consensual activity. I pray that you can see that by looking in my eyes. I want to thank all of you for your continuing support. I want to let you know that our show will be on Rumble on Monday. Thanks for your support there. And of course, I'm now going to have the opportunity to defend these charges in court, and I'm incredibly grateful for that. In the meantime, you lot, stay free, and we will be continuing to discuss this matter. Praise the Lord.
Police said their investigation was ongoing. The Met's investigation remains open, and detectives ask anyone who has been affected by this case or anyone who has any information to come forward and speak with police. Detective Superintendent Andy Furphy said in a statement on Friday. The women who have made reports continue to receive support from specially trained officer Jaswant Nawal of Britain's Crown Prosecution Service said prosecutors had carefully reviewed the evidence before bringing the charges. We have concluded that Russell Brand should be charged with offenses including rape, sexual assault, and indecent assault. Russell also made a statement around the same time an old interview of his started going around again, and it raised a lot of eyebrows. In it, he says he could get his assistant to strip and give the radio host interviewing him a massage. He was chatting on a phone and an interview aired on BBC Two Radio with media personality Jimmy Demonic Saville way back in 2007, and he told Jimmy he would love to meet him someday. Jimmy joked he doesn't meet men alone, but if Russell has a sister, he'd happily meet her. Russell responded by saying he doesn't have a sister, but he does have an assistant who greets, meets, and massages anyone he tells her to. Russell says she's very attractive, and Jimmy says she's welcome to his home anytime, preferably wearing nothing at all, which Russell agrees to. Check out these two clips.
It'd be very nice to meet you one day, Mr. Jimmy Savile, just,
Well, if you've got a sister, you could meet me by bringing her along.
I mean, I haven't got any sisters,
I
but
don't usually meet fellas, but if you've got a sister, that's okay.
I've got a personal assistant called and part of her job description is that anyone I demand she greets, meets, massages, she has to do it. She's very attractive, Jimmy.
Well, that's a good start.
What kind of
start? You could send her along to do some research.
Would you like her to wear anything in particular, Sir Jimmy?
I'd actually prefer her to wear nothing.
Right, so you want my assistant to meet you naked? Okay, well that's not going to be a problem.
Just so you know, Jimmy Savile died in 2011, and while he was still alive, he was already being looked into by the police a couple of times for sexual abuse. After he passed away, dozens of people came forward with their own stories about what he did. And because of all that, his name got taken off many buildings, and even his gravestone was destroyed. He abused more than 60 patients. The youngest, age 8. Age 8. He sexually abused a pregnant mother in her 20s and a 19-year-old paralyzed woman in a wheelchair. Almost half the victims were under 16 years old, and the crimes included rapes. People knew Jimmy Savile was a predator, like it was an open secret among some of the junior staff and middle managers. Some of his victims did speak up and complain to staff, but no one really took it seriously or passed it on to the higher-ups. Listen, one day, some of you are going to realize that everything I've been saying about these people is true. I'm not just talking about celebrities for the sake of gossip. I actually know what I'm talking about, okay? A lot of YouTubers out there report on celebs just for clicks and money. And honestly, they don't even care about the stuff they are covering. But I do. I care about exposing these messed up people because I've spent time researching and learning about all of this. I've been saying it over and over. Those charity events and good deeds you see are often just a cover for something much darker. Some of you have no idea who you're really supporting and defending. I was reading about Jimmy Savile years ago, and I was seriously disturbed by what I found out. Do your own research. You will feel sick. Now, back to Russell. There were a bunch of complaints about Russell from his time working at BBC Radio between 2006 and 2008. One of the more serious ones was about him following a female staff member into the bathroom at the BBC's office in Los Angeles and exposing himself to her. This apparently happened just minutes before they were about to record a show. Once on the air, Russell allegedly made a joke about how he had exposed himself to a woman 25 minutes earlier. The woman was named Olivia in the review, which stated that she felt embarrassed and did not want to raise it or talk about it, so instead treated it lightly when it came up. The review said she formally complained about the alleged situation over 10 years later. The incident was fairly common knowledge in the LA office and was joked about by the staff for years. The investigation also claimed that while BBC staffers found Russell demanding and difficult to work with and his behavior extreme, they felt that there was no point in complaining as they believed he would not be listened to. Another official complaint against Russell said that in 2007, he supposedly peed in a cup and threw things in anger when a production staff member made a mistake. On top of everything, the investigation found the BBC also apologized to staff who felt like they couldn't speak up about Russell's alleged behavior at the time. Russell is expected to appear in court on May 2nd. Now, I want to show this video of Russell hanging out with Diddy on Diddy's private jet. There was a lot of flirting going on between them. Diddy even said Russell is a very, very, very close friend of his. You have to see the video. Just a lot of disturbing things, that was said. Just watch and really listen to what they are saying. Pay attention.
We are on the plane right now, on our way to Vegas. It's called What Happens in Vegas Stays in Vegas. I'm here with my new best friend right here. My new best friend. Hello. Rusty Rocket.
Is this for Twitter?
Yeah, yes, also known as Russell Brand, yes. He's very, 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 very dear friend of mine. We go way back.
We've got a lot of history from the projects, of course.
Yeah. From back in the day.
Very rough in those days, a lot of bother in the projects, but we've come through it now. Things seem to be working out.
Yeah.
And I'd like to...
It felt a little... I'm
I
sorry.
liked it.
Yeah, you liked it?
Yeah, I felt so affection. I didn't feel comfortable enough to sort of start embracing you, so I didn't want to be...
Oh, no.
I didn't want to overburden you with affection, but I felt that you were in a position to rest an arm on me. I mean, I didn't let it cross over into the area of being physically aroused or anything.
Yeah, none of that.
It was all back door.
None of that. But you know what it is? We're going out on like a date. A straight guy date. Like
Straight guy date?
To a guy's night, 48 hours.
Puffy, with a normal date between like a man and a woman, or perhaps two gay men or lesbian women, the best possible result of that date is sex. Now, with our heterosexual date, what is the best thing that can happen between us?
We can find some women that have sex. That is our conclusion. That's a conclusion. For 48 hours in Vegas, you're seeing us at the beginning of the 48 hours. As you know, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but we really plan on going to the hospital.
Are you going to chronicle the whole thing?
Yeah. chronicle the whole thing,
It's going to be chronicled.
Yeah.
He deserves all this.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Remember, I'm a recovering drug addict.
Yeah, he's a recovering drug
I can't
addict.
take drugs or anything, like, or even drink. I can't drink booze.
Yeah, he won't. I don't know what's going to happen in Vegas, to be honest. He's recovering, but
I'm
it's
vulnerable.
Vegas. He's vulnerable.
I'm vulnerable in Vegas.
Vulnerable.
This could be it for me. Plus, we're on a plane. There's been no safety announcements. No one said anything about these seatbelts. It's not been mentioned. People are playing very loud music. I'm wearing a hat that I regret. It's a difficult situation. What's going to happen to us?
I don't know. I don't know. Me personally, you know, if you go to Vegas for 48 hours, somebody doesn't go to the hospital, then it wasn't a success.
It wasn't a success.
Wasn't a success. So,
I'm putting myself at your mercy in this situation, Puffy. I'm using every one of your possible names: Sean, Diddy, P, Puffy. I bought these toothpicks because I think I saw you. Use one in the video.
Yes.
That's a small token. You provided the plane, the tickets, the hotels to the big fight. I provided the toothpicks though.
And the whores.
Well, okay, we've not discussed that, but alright, I will try to. I'm not a misogynist. I'm against that kind of language. I like to think of them as damsels.
So this is the beginning. And
will I put this on my
yes, this
Twitter
is
as well?
It's equal access.
Equal access.
Joint venture content.
I provided the toothpicks.
Yeah.
So equal access.
Stay tuned.
Do stay tuned.
Peace.